Hello everybody, welcome to an exciting edition on Taking the Lead. I'm your host, Ronkel Luriake. And here we meet today, we have Miss Abigail from the business sector. And we have Mr. Joshua from the public speaking sector. And we have Ms. MM from Uriah sector. I know we're wondering what Uriah is all about, but definitely we'll get to know what Uriah is all about. Thank you very much. Miss Abigail, why do you love business?
Wow, first of all, I'm glad that you acknowledged the fact that I love business. Personally, business affords me an opportunity to be independent. Leaving school, I do not intend to stay under somebody's employ for too long because I have dreams and I intend to strike out on my own at some point. Also, business is like the basic foundation on which the economy of any nation stands. And I really love to make my own vital contributions to strengthening the economic pillar of my country. So that is why I love business.
Thank you very much. It's good to hear a lady actually say that she wants to make our country stand. Thank you very much. That's a lovely one. So what aspect of business are you into, Miss Abigail?
I'm into feeding people, basically. That is the food business. I know I'm in school and I'm studying mass communication. Of course, there's a place for mass communication when I leave school because I intend to practice as a media practitioner. And I'm also going to be using it as a voice, like to give my food venture a voice. I love to feed people, and it's a beautiful thing to know that you get paid for doing what you love. So basically, I'm feeding people all the way.
Wow. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Joshua, public speaking. Can you explain to us what public speaking is all about?
Thank you very much, Ms. Ronke. I must say you're looking really beautiful.
Thank you
And
very
I'm
much.
excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Now, I love that question, public speaking. Public speaking has been misunderstood in many different ways. Now, public speaking is speaking publicly, speaking to a group of people with the intention of informing, persuading, and entertaining. Now, that's what public speaking is all about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So why public speaking?
Yeah, it started in secondary school when my friends were beginning to discover themselves and they were beginning to see that this is the area where I'm good at, this is my talent, this is my this. And yours truly had nothing. I couldn't dance, I couldn't sing, acting was not even there. I started being depressed, as many young people are. And all of a sudden, a friend of mine tried to make a joke out of me and said, maybe talking is your talent, maybe talking too much is your talent, because that's the only thing you're good at. And everybody laughed. And at first I was sad. And it hit me. It hit me really bad. That why can't I talk since I'm a noisemaker in quote? Why can't I talk? Why can't I get information and pass on to people? And that's how it was birthed. That's how public speaking became my thing.
Thank you very much. So noise making actually transformed you to the man you are today. That's very good. Thank you very much. So over to Miss MM. Miss MM, I'm sure my viewers would love to know what Uriah is all about. What's Uriah?
Well, Uriah, it's a traditional name in Nigeria, and it simply means dream. Basically, there's nothing more to it, just dream.
Just dream.
Yes.
So what inspired that name, dream, Uriah?
Okay. Uriah is a group name, and in this group, we're a group of talented people, and we have a dream together as one, and this dream, we want to bring it to reality. So we're coming together to innovate, motivate, and inspire people all around to, let's say, acknowledge your talent within, and then groom it also to make something out of it.
Okay. So basically, you're trying to tell us that Uriah is all about grooming talent. You have varieties within. Can you call it events management?
No, it's not management. It's totally different. It's quite different from what we have. I'd rather call it potential building. Building people's potential, your inner potential.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. So, Miss Abigail, since you want to feed the nation, you want to be an independent black woman. So tell me, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
5 years from now is actually a long period of time. And I'm looking at where I am currently. I'm also looking at the plans I have on ground. I'm looking at the progress I have made, which I'm grateful to God for. 5 years from now, owing to the fact that I am no longer under anybody's employ and I have attained financial freedom, I would say I have, at that point in my life, I have become this established young woman who has been responsible for feeding people, at the same time putting smiles on their faces and smiling to the bank as well, because I will have made such profits that will put plenty of smiles on my face as well.
Wow, thank you very much. You're smiling to the bank with all your money, food money. Thanks a lot, Miss Abigail. Miss Joshua, how can public speaking actually help you take the lead?
That's a tough and good question. Now, public speaking has helped a lot of people take the lead. Looking at the likes of Martin Luther King, whose speech is still on till now. People are still talking about his speech till now. And looking at the likes of Obama, I strongly believe that his speech before the election led people to vote for him. So taking the lead in public speaking is just like taking the lead in any other field. Look at those that are before you, stand on their shoulders, and you do exploits. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we should look at the likes of Obama and the rest of them and Martin Luther King. The public speaking actually influenced people to vote for them.
Yes, to a great extent.
That's wonderful. So you mean if you cannot speak, you cannot run for presidency?
True.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Miss MM, so how can Uria be a platform for change?
Well, to answer that question, I'm going to tell you a short story about myself. When I was younger, I loved music. Like music, I'm so in love with music. And when I was younger, I loved walking around the house. I'll just be singing. I'll tell my mom and my dad I'm going into music. As I grew older, reality caught up with me. I went to my dad and I told him, I want to take music seriously. Like I want to work in music. And my dad just looked at me. It's kind of, what are you saying? He has this mentality this general Nigerian mentality for parents that you have to either be a doctor, an engineer, or something, a lawyer, and all. And he was like, no, you're going to study architecture. And I was like, okay, no problem, it's all good. But when I came to school, people spoke to me, I heard a lot of things, I got inspired by a lot of people that spoke to me, and I realized I can actually make something out of my talent. I mean, the likes of Kefi, Tara, these people have their platforms, their talents, and they are doing so well with it. So I decided I'm not going to drop it, I'm going to do something with it. So I met other people, and they had the same dream and the same vision. So we thought about it, and we're like, okay, why don't we come together and make a group, and this group is going to inspire people to acknowledge your talent and then show you and teach you how to make something out of that talent, and then also to eradicate that thought in parents that we can't make anything out of the talent.
Thank you very much. So you're telling us today that parents should actually allow kids go with their passion?
Yes.
It's very good.
It's very important.
So if I tell my mom, I want to be a farmer, my mom should allow me to be a farmer.
I actually think it's a nice field, a very beautiful field, especially in Nigeria.
But is it possible for you to combine education and your passion, even if that's not what you're doing at the moment?
I think it's very possible. It's more than possible.
It's very possible.
Yes.
So you're saying for those out there that are not doing what they're passionate about, they can actually have that at the side with them?
Yes. The world would be a better place.
Okay, thank you very much. We will be taking questions from the audience after the break. Welcome back. Earlier on, we were talking on taking the lead. and we've asked Miss Abigail from the business sector what she's passionate about. And she told us business, that she wants to feed the nation. And then Mr. Joshua told us that for you to actually be a president, you need to learn how to speak. So if you really want to learn how to speak, I think you should see Mr. Joshua personally. And then Miss MM, who talks about Uriah, telling us that it's about dream potential builders. Well, now we're going to be asking questions from the audience. So audience, first question.
My question is to Uriah. You said that you would like to change the mentality of parents. How exactly do you plan on doing that? Because we as youth, we really like to know, because I'm sure there are a lot of people here with talents that would like to take the message to their parents that it's just not about professionalism. So how do you intend on passing this awareness to parents?
Well, for your question, basically there's a saying that goes, seeing is believing, and most of the parents, they go by that rule. So it's not just going to tell them about it. I'm going to give them various examples. In fact, there are various examples here in Nigeria. We have the likes of Tara with her makeup, and she's a success. Kefi is a dancer, and she's doing so well. She has a family, and they are doing so well. They are happy. But it's not just telling them that or giving them examples. I'm also going to, I have a school idea I want to bring in, and in this school, people with the talents, their children, they can come to this school, and we'll teach them how to use their talents, how to sell it out to the public, how to communicate, everything. This school is going to teach you both the business aspect of your talent, how to sell it. I mean, it's a talent, you have to know how to sell it practically. And then we're going to teach you how to communicate with people, proper communication. And also, we're going to help you with the various connections you need to make it out there, because it's a tough world. We're going to give you the various connections, so that when you get out, you won't just be stranded on your own and all. That's basically what we're going to do.
Thank you very much, Ms. Eman. Can we have the second question?
My question goes to Mr. Joshua. Do you have any plans of going into politics with your public speaking?
Thank you very much. My answer to that question is yes. But I want to create a line here. I want to draw a line. It's not only, public speaking is not only for leadership positions. Public speaking can also be used in different areas. In fact, public speaking is needed for different areas. But personally, I have intentions of going into politics, and that will be announced soonest. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua. So public speaking is not just for politicians, it's for everybody. Third question, please.
Okay, my question goes to Ms. Abigail. In Nigeria presently, with the alarming rate of job unemployment and insecurity, what's your advice for young people out there venturing into the same sector?
Thank you for that question. Did you know that unemployment really is the fault of nobody but you as a person? Because it is until you start to blame people for what you do not have that you find out that there really is no answer. But the truth about it is, there's so much within you. If you will only look into yourself, you will find out that you necessarily don't need somebody's help to help you get out of unemployment. Also, unemployment, which is very alarming in the country where we live today, is something I would say the government is doing so much about, although it is not very effective. Now, since I do not want where I'm headed to be determined by the decisions of a few people, I've taken it upon myself to get the right kind of information I need. And did you also know that you do not necessarily need money to start your business? Thanks to courses like EDS and Covenant University that help you realize that there's so much you can do with or without money. First of all, as a young person, what you require is an idea. And with your idea, I trust you can get to anywhere you want to get to. All you need with that idea, get the right kind of people to listen to you and see to it that your idea is promoted. And with that, unemployment would start to dwindle by the day, just like it started to increase. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Abigail. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. And thank you, Ms. Emma. I'm sure viewers, you're all glad to be here. See you next time.
another exciting episode from my favorite team, Team Carries. My name is Chisom Okebo, and my beautiful co-host is
Naomi Ugo. This evening with us we have 6 exciting people. On my left I have Miss Ifetayo, who will be talking about family and culture. Right next to her is Mr. Uche, who will be talking about food and culture. And just right beside me is Miss Anne, who will be talking about art and culture. I really do love your class.
well, on my extreme right is Miss Mary College. She's going to talk about fashion and culture. Right next to her is Mr. Daniel. He's going to talk about culture in general. And he's going to be Miss Sutton on my side. She's going to talk about music and culture.
Without wasting much time, I would just like to ask Miss Anne, what exactly drives you about art?
Well, what exactly drives me about art? That question is funny, just like asking me what drives me about life, because that's what art is to me. Art is beautiful, art is versatile, art is broad. The thing about art is it takes people from different backgrounds, different settings, different lifestyle. It brings them together and we can communicate and connect perfectly. I love art because it's something I can do. I can express myself without any judgment. The smallest piece of art can tell the biggest story. What is not to love about art? I love art so much. It makes me so happy. Art brings me joy. Art makes people happy. That is why I love art.
Well, Miss Mary College, this is to you. On fashion and culture, what do you understand by fashion? What's your understanding of fashion?
Fashion is what you wear. Fashion is who you are. Fashion is your shoe, your makeup, your accessory. It has everything to do with your dressing. That's basically what fashion is about.
Oh, fascinating. Miss Ifetayo, I would like to ask you, what exactly is your most valuable treasure about your family?
My most valuable treasure about my family is the fact that they made me who I am. I look into the mirror and smile because I love who I have grown to become. And I think that would be what I treasure most about my family. The fact that they've done so much into bringing me up and making me who I am. I really love that about my family.
Well, Miss Sutton, I'll be asking you about music and culture. Do you believe that music has a huge thing in promoting our culture?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain why?
Okay. First of all, I like to look at music beyond the whole idea of it being a means of entertainment. I like to say music is actually a way we portray our identity. Now, when you listen to a song, you can easily tell where this song is from. You can say this is a Yoruba song or this is an Igbo song. And let's give an example of Brenda Fassie. We all know her songs. Now, that song made us want to know more about the South African culture, and it made us want to know how they dress, their dance steps and everything. So I believe that music can actually help promote our culture in every way.
That's interesting because my family used to talk about Fela's music a lot.
Seriously?
A whole lot.
If you have to see my plates of Fela, oh my good Lord, you're so close to it.
That's a topic for another day. So, Mr. Uche, do you eat outside your traditional food, your cultural food?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Then, why? How do you intend to promote your culture if you're eating other people's culture?
Okay, let me ask you also a question, yes? And I'm asking the audience this question too. How do you feel if you eat only gari, breakfast, lunch, dinner, first day, second day, breakfast, lunch, dinner? I'm sure we'll get bored, we'll get tired of the food, yes? Yes? Yes. Well, the thing is, I'm a food enthusiast and I'm not a food racist. Why do I say that? I eat food from all cultures because I believe if I'm trying to promote my own culture, I should also give all other cultures a chance. I should also taste their food, get the feel of what they taste like, what the feel I want to give them. I should also be open to get that feel.
Mr. Daniel, I will throw this question to you. If your wife, if eventually marry, and your wife can't cook, what will happen? Look at someone actually like food, as in, you show your stomach.
There's no way I will marry someone without finding out if person can cook. It's not possible.
Actually, I'll go with you because the fastest way my heart to my stomach. I don't know about you, but that's for me.
Now I know a secret about you, so. Oh well, Miss Anne, I would like to ask you, what exactly, how do you think
Nigerian art shows our culture?
If I'm to be honest with you, I do believe that Nigerian art depicts our culture. But permit me to ask this question. Are we Nigerians ready to accept our culture? The thing is, I see Nigerian art as that store across the street that no one wants to visit because we believe that the things in it are not interesting enough. Even the sculptures and the potters these days are becoming extinct. Who are we to turn to but ourselves? All Nigerians have a part to play in making Nigerian culture what it ought to be. So, Nigerian art depicts our culture, but we need to show our culture.
Well, going back to your success on music, is the Nigerian industry promoting Nigerian culture? Well, let me just rephrase it for you. Our industry nowadays, our music industry nowadays, is it promoting actual Nigerian culture? Is it promoting innate Nigerian culture?
Alright, I would say to some extent. And I'd like to give some examples that I've actually seen and noticed. Now, first of all, I'd like to give an example of the collaboration that just concluded. It happened like 14th to 20th of this month. Now, something Femi Kuti did, he closed all doors to international and foreign artists, and he made it open for all Nigerian artists to come and present and show the Nigerian culture. That is one thing they've done. Another example is Dare Asalade. You see in his video, Sisi Eko, Ankara everywhere, made it so beautiful. And I actually saw one time I saw Beyonce trying to put on Ankara to look Nigerian. So I actually think that the Nigerian music industry is making efforts to promote this culture. But the thing is, let's do it right. Let's do it right. We can get some things from them, like Lagbaja did in his video, wherever. Now, he started with the whole international Western thing, but later he made them understand that they look better in their natural outfit. So then he did a comparison between the Western and the Nigerian culture, and he made it look beautiful. So I feel there's more effort to be done, but yeah, they're actually doing a good job.
Well, when she said that, Favors Ada came to my head, and that video just gets me grooving. So, Mr. Daniel, I just really want to know, if you had an opportunity, if you had a means whatsoever to promote your culture, how would you do it?
Well, to promote my culture, I will start off with my dressing. My dressing, the way I dress, because first thing everyone can see about me is the way I'm dressed. Look at all of us here, or most of us here. We have a touch or we have a blend of both English and our traditional outfits. Look at what you're showing off. So I'll start with that, then go to language, food, and other things, but then I'll start with my dressing, because that's what depicts my culture.
Well, on food and culture, Mr. Uche, how do you tend to promote your culture through food?
Well, that's a very interesting question, I might say. Food is a very important yet very unnoticed part of our culture, yes, because we all eat what we are told to eat, and if we want to promote our culture, we should get our children, our people, to eat that which is available to them via their culture. Let me explain this. The rush for international food is really something else. I've made a business out of selling international food, so I know what I'm saying. But the thing is, if we really want to promote our culture through food, we have to be able to encourage our youths to embrace our eba, our tuwo, all the foods that those days when our parents tell us about, we want to taste eba and koko, all those stuff. But we should, to promote our culture through food, we should embrace our own food. We should eat that food that comes from our motherland.
Thank you very much. I have a dream that one day I'll walk into KFC and I'll buy fufu and crispy fried chicken. So just before we have the pleasure of hearing Ms. Ifetayo again, we'll take a short break.
At first I thought I was just dreaming. Then I realized. Wow, you look great.
hear Ms. Ipatayo on this matter, family and culture. I'd like to ask you, do you think that the problem of cultural degradation can be traced back to the family?
The problem of cultural degradation started from the home. Because children go out to portray what exactly it is they have been taught at home. My mommy always tells me of in her times how whenever they wake up, she wakes up all her siblings, my mom is the firstborn, and they all go to greet their parents, kneeling down or prostrating, depending on the sex. We look around these days and we hardly see children dressed in Ankara, lace. I'm talking about children who are still being dressed by their parents. We hardly see them dressed in their cultural attire, and these are things that are put on them. They grow up with these habits and find it difficult to portray their culture. We look at the music we even grew up hearing. How many of us can actually say that, okay, we were taught in the cultural way and degraded from it? So for me, the problem of cultural degradation actually started from the home, because people go out to portray what exactly it is they have been taught at home. So yes.
About family and culture, that's really very informative. On to fashion and culture, Ms. Mary Colette, I want to ask you a question. Do you think that today's fashion sense actually portrays Nigerian culture?
No, I don't think it portrays Nigerian culture, because I think Nigerians are followers of other people's culture. They do what they see on TV, and that's the Western things. They wear what they see on TV. They follow the Westerners, even if they have colonized us and gone back. They still don't want to let go of some of their ways, like the dressing. They will just see somebody wearing bomb shorts, they'll just wear it like that. They're not meant to do that. They're meant to still embrace their culture, because that's what they were taught. They are not following what their parents taught them. They are following what they see on the TV, and I think that's very wrong. So they do not improve the Nigerian culture.
That's fascinating, because a lot of times we tend to think that, oh, we have a mind of our own, but truly what we're doing is we're following other people's ideologies and building upon it. Ms. Anne, I'd like to ask, how do you intend to promote the Nigerian culture?
So, remember. So you're reintroducing her again. No, it's okay.
When she was speaking, the mic was supposed to leave your hand. No, you introduced her, right? The mic was supposed to leave you to
I think we are not promoting Nigerian culture.
I agree with you. Well, I think fashion is an aspect under art. Fashion and art you can put them together. Art is deeply rooted in our African culture, and at that, there's this thing I believe, it has been chosen for us already. Nigeria is a masterpiece, and a masterpiece is a sum of all its parts. Putting that context into Nigeria, our different cultures, our different beliefs, the fashion, the art, there are so many things that put Nigeria and make it a masterpiece. I want people to understand that the more we move away from our cultural values, the more we shift from what we ought to know and do, the more we impair this masterpiece from what it ought to be. My main concentration is on the children. The children only know what they are taught. So I want to make them understand that they shouldn't wait for something magical to happen. They don't need anything to happen, because they are the magic that we need. They are the spark we need to move Nigeria forward and make the society a better place. So yes, I do believe that.
So, Ms. Anne, what you're saying is fashion and art are intertwined. Something to add to my diary of many learned things today. So, Mr. Uche, I know you're a foodie, and personally, I like food, but I want to know, what's your favorite food? And please, briefly, teach me how to prepare it.
Well, yes, I actually do have a favorite food. It's an Igbo delicacy. It's called Ofe Nsala. I don't know if you know people who heard of this, yes. Yeah, it's really nice. It's usually garnished with chicken and goes wonderfully well with pounded jam. But then, what makes it my favorite food is the fact that I don't know how to cook it. So I have to look for someone that I know cares about me to cook it for me. That's what makes it my favorite food. But if you are interested in learning how to make other kinds of food, I would be happy to teach you. Thank you.
I thought you were going to shame me, but actually we're in the same shoe, so it's all cool. It's all cool. But on music and culture, we have it easy. So I'm going to ask a very last question. Do you have any personal advice in the Nigerian music industry presently?
Thank you very much for that question. Like I said earlier, music is the bedrock for the Nigerian identity. Now, music is as rich and diverse as its people. So I would like to advise that we try and search. Let's find out the diversity of music. I was trying to search yesterday and I found there's so many instruments and so many diversity. You have the reggae, you have the Afro Juju. When you combine these things together, they harmonize and form a wonderful sound. And harmony that you can indeed just sit and think about the wonderful things we have. So I think that we should try and find out more about Nigerian music and use it to promote our culture. Thank you very much.
It's exciting to know how many genres we have in Nigeria. From the Jollof music genre, to the Afro-pop, to the hip-hop, to the R&B. God knows, more genres are actually coming up in this country. Onto fashion and culture, Miss Mary Collette, I'm going to ask you a very last question. Do you think fashion promotes modesty in Nigerian culture?
Thank you very much for that question. Well, modesty is relative because in the Koma Hill, they don't wear clothes. We are the ones not being modest to them because we wear clothes. Nakedness is their own culture. That's how they are promoting their own culture. So I think if we wear clothes to that place, we are not promoting their own culture. So wearing clothes that cover up our bodies is promoting our own culture. But nowadays we see that the youth of today, they cover the places that are supposed to be exposed and expose the places that are supposed to be covered, especially the ladies. So I don't think that we are being modest in our dressing of today.
Wow, that's fascinating. I've heard so much about this, and my mom keeps complaining, but what can you do? You can't really touch everybody's heart. You just have to go for the ones that you can attain, right? So, Mr. Petaro, finally, I'd like you to comment on this. Can the family, irrespective of the fact that he has a hand in cultural degradation, can he also rebuild the culture that we've lost?
The family can actually help rebuild the Nigerian culture. If everybody does their own part, plays their own part, if everybody decides to embrace the culture, if every family decides to embrace Nigerian culture, it's going to be like an orchestra with everybody singing their own parts. It's going to sound like a masterpiece in the end. If every family in Nigeria decides to embrace the Nigerian culture, yes, I believe Nigeria will get back on track in promoting the culture, in embracing the culture in which our fathers have left behind for us. Thank you.
Well, let's say theoretically speaking, I'm a family man. I want to promote Nigerian culture by going the fella's way. I'm not trying promoting it, I'm not trying.
Did you say the fella's way?
The fella's way, by the way.
The fella's way.
The fella's way.
Like going out in underwear?
No, by having enough kids to follow to school.
As long as you can foster their education, like in this time, I think that's the issue most parents have in giving birth to so many children, as far as you can afford the education.
Well, that's true. Well, we'll hear from various speakers. We'll hear from the food, ski fashion, family, and to music. Well, I'm going to ask Mr. Daniel, in general, sum everything up about culture in 140 characters. Shoot.
Wow, that's been awesome listening to everyone here speak. Now, all what they've been saying can be summed up to what acculturation. Now, what I'm doing is acculturation. My language is Yoruba, but I'm speaking English. Look at our dressing here, acculturation, English and traditional. This is acculturation. So it's the blend between diverse various cultures. Now the question is, to what degree should we mix up the cultures? There's no scale to read that or to measure that, but the answer to that will be to the degree in which we don't lose our identity. Thank you.
awesome time. But before we leave, we'd like to take any contributions from the audience.
My name is Azka Esther. I have contribution that directs to fashion and culture. That actually has, I actually want to add something to that. Actually, modesty, to say, modesty is, I think it's something of the choice. Because I, for one, my parents live in Cameroon, and they don't, modesty is not their culture actually. But in spite of everything, my mom still dresses modestly. So I think modesty is all about choice, not about where the person is coming from actually. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the presenters. Very good job. Looking at the language aspect, I believe that parents need to really work on that aspect, because I come out sometimes and, okay, yes, I'm an Igbo guy, and I come out and sorry to use Yoruba people around with this. I see some people who are not proud enough to speak up their language, and it really irritates me. I come out of my house, I'm very proud to speak my language, and sometimes, okay, yes, by God's grace, I stay in the north, and I also know how to speak Hausa. I don't really have to be Hausa to want to speak my language. It should be something that is more of a joy for me. So parents really need to work on the aspects of teaching their children their culture, teaching them the language, and also making them love to speak their own language. Thank you.
Well, we heard it all. You have spoken, the others have contributed. So I'm going to ask my co-host what she actually thinks about taking the lead.
This experience has changed my life. It's not just about taking the scepter, it's not just about lounging. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for gracing this occasion. And forever, I'm Naomi Ugo.
Chisom Okebo.
We'd like to say goodbye, even though you want us to stay.
Ciao.
Action. On behalf of Team Caris, I want to say a big thank you to every one of you who took our time to be here with us, and also to our sponsors, Nathan Lee Gates,
Rapid Focus,
Kronos Technology,
Clear Structure,
Redeem Nation,
OS Consult,
Yes Pets,
BedSpot.tv,
Tasty Con,
Avila,
Ace Needles,
Renee,
Neuro Business Engineering,
Just Us Nigeria,
Beauty Saints,
Kells Media,
All Quick Limited,
and TTM,
and Essence Gospel Records. Thank you all.
Thank you.